I started from nothing, never knew where my next meal was coming. But I transformed my life, I stay one step ahead. Mindset of disruption, I own the edge. This is the Thrill Cast, where I bring the wisdom you need. Everyone is selling knowledge, I give mine away for free. I'm as real as it gets, you either love or hate me. Best believe I'm Major League Bill Hines, that's me. This is the Thrill Cast. This is the Thrill Cast. This is the Thrill Cast.
Hello, everyone. On this episode of the Thrill Cast, we have professional race car driver Zoey, and you can follow her at Zoey E Racing on all her social media, Instagram, Facebook, and so we brought Zoey on. She's an up-and-coming race car driver. Some would say female race car driver, but you know, when you strap on the helmet and Zoey's in a race with you, you don't see female, you don't see male, you just see another race car driver who's very talented and very fast. So, you know, with this podcast, you know, for this episode, I wanted to bring someone on that's up and coming in the sport, that is, you know, making waves in the sport. And, you know, she's a fearless driver, and you have to have that type of, you know, fearless attitude to jump in, especially the disciplines that she started in. And she started in one of the most hardest disciplines, which is open wheel racing. So what can go wrong, what will go wrong, can go wrong in open wheel racing. I mean, your head's exposed. It's very dangerous. And then to make matters worse, she then picked an even more dangerous sport by making her professional debut with Stadium Super Trucks. So she was actually a competitor, one could say even teammate of mine in that as well, in that sport, and did an excellent job. So Zoey, take it away. Introduce yourself.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. So I've been racing for about 8 years now. I started when I was 11 years old in karting.
How is that even possible?
I know, right? They let me drive at 11. That's crazy.
She's got two amazing parents that are crazy, that let her do what she wants.
Yeah, when I was younger, when I first started, my mom actually worked on my go-kart. So it was us as a team together just trying to do this whole racing world. And so it was like a great experience when we first started, because we got really close, and just being at the racetrack together, it was really fun. And starting at a young age with her, and then she's been with me through everything. It's been great. And my dad also has a racing background, so the help from both of them has been amazing.
What did Dad do?
My dad basically gives me pointers, but my mom was the one working on my go-kart, which is not the usual. So people would look at us like we're crazy when it's me driving this go-kart and my mom working on it.
We love girls who love their mom.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it.
So your father was a race car driver too?
Yeah, my dad used to race sprint cars.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's one thing that gets you involved for sure.
Yeah.
What do you race for now?
Well, I raced Stadium Super Trucks this year.
You
Yeah.
race against Bill. You guys are...
Yeah.
Who's better, you or Bill?
Zoey's better.
Are you seriously better?
Yeah, Zoey's excellent.
Me and Bill raced the Saline Series last year as well.
Serious?
Together.
And you beat him?
I did beat he one race and I beat him the next, so it was great.
I mean,
This is crazy.
There's some races I can win, and it depends.
Is it mostly people your age that are in the super trucks?
No.
Your
No.
age.
Every Stadium Super Trucks, that's a beauty. Like we had Max Gordon, who was 12 years old, racing against us, and his dad's a legend. His grandfather's even more of a legend.
Did you beat the 12-year-old?
One race I did.
One race he did, and one race he beat us.
Good Lord.
Well, one race I took him out. So
is there like another platform you aspire to get into racing-wise, or is this where you want to be in the monster trucks?
I love being in all types of racing. I think it makes me a better driver overall. So I'm always open to trying anything. I love open wheel. I love the sports car racing. Now I love the Stadium Super Trucks. Just any type of racing I love being in. So I would love to be in anything possible.
What's best case scenario? End all be all. Yeah. You can have whatever you want.
To race the Indy 500.
Yep.
Stop.
I was going to say
that is like the coolest thing.
Yeah.
That would be so fun. I would love to do that.
And here's the thing, though. Most people that would say that would be a pipe dream for them, Meg. So they would say like, oh, yeah, I wish I was a professional baseball player, football player, or soccer player, or I want to be racing in the Indy 500. But with Zoey, like she has the talent and all the abilities to actually make that dream a reality. Like she's that good.
So how does it work? If you just want to enter a race, like you can just do so, or do you have to qualify? Do you have to have a certain amount of money behind you? How does it work?
I would say it's like all of those. You do have to have a certain amount of money in order to race, and then you do have to, I would say, qualify for like certain licenses in order to race.
Like how much money gets you started?
Well, it depends what series actually, Meg. Yeah.
Okay, so
And
just
it
ballpark
depends
me.
what sponsors you have. So.
Yeah. So it depends. It all depends because like starting in open wheel versus sports car racing, it's a completely different.
It's more economical or it's more difficult?
There's difficulty and there's more. It depends on the money and the sponsors and who's willing to help you and everything.
Yeah, open wheel is definitely a lot. Like IndyCar is very expensive, but NASCAR is expensive.
Is
so
there a
it's different.
formula to getting sponsors, or you kind of have to reach out to people on your own, or people come to you once you have a little bit of notoriety?
I would say marketing yourself the best you can. And
Yes.
the one that's helped me the most is the way I met Bill, was just being in different, like at the racetrack and like walking around. And then Bill reached out to me and was like, hey, like I saw you under the SST tent. I was like, yeah, I would love to race one of these. And then we ended up talking through there. But it's like being at the racetrack, even if I'm not racing, has helped me the most with getting sponsors and getting my name out there and being noticed.
The other thing too is when that happened, it's a good friend of yours, father's and yours, Casey Mears, who's a NASCAR driver, excellent driver. You know, and basically we're like, who's that? And oh, she's racing. What was the
Formula 4, yeah.
Formula 4000, right? Or is it called Formula 4?
Formula 4, yeah.
Yeah, Formula 4. So I was like, Casey's actually, oh, well, that's the daughter of, and you know, a friend
You know
of
her
mine.
dad?
Yeah, her dad's awesome.
Her dad's a friend of yours.
I don't
That is
know.
so
Would he
sweet. I
consider
like
me a
that.
friend?
Yeah,
I guess
Well, now,
so. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, his dad. Well, I'm probably more closer to her mom, her JJ. So her mom's awesome. Like literally, her mom will jump in, be a mechanic, you know, like get dirty, like for her daughter. And the dad's like, I'm just watching. You know, it's so funny. But anyway, Casey Mears highly recommended her, and he sat me down and he's like, hey, listen, you know, she's more than capable. She's got the tools, but, you know, hey, how do we help her get to the next level? And I was like, well, obviously she can intelligently speak. She can market herself. Like she's everything that a brand would want for a race car driver because she's going to be at the pointy end of the field. So meaning toward the front. She can speak. And she's going to look good on camera as well. She's not like, oh, okay, let's run from that, you know? So she has everything that a brand would want to represent them in racing. So that's why we're, you know, coming up with a plan that tried to help her. And, you know, part of that, Robbie Gordon obviously saw her and it's like, hey, you need to be in a truck as well. And as you know, Stadium Super Trucks is so popular worldwide. So
Is it?
yeah.
Where does it have a big following, I guess? Where's it?
Well, worldwide, like some of
Australia,
our
it's big?
videos get 30, 40 million views. Australia, we're huge in. Europe is starting to get better. Like one of the Europe videos, one like motorsport, I forget the name of the actual Facebook page, but they shared one of our videos and it had 32 million views.
The Stadium Super Trucks get a lot of media and like a lot of people love watching that. So it helps a lot with like a social media following, I notice.
Yep. And the thing is with Stadium Super Trucks, it's not expensive to run. You'd be surprised. It's probably
It's not expensive to like
no. So sponsors, you know, it's not like IndyCar where IndyCar could be millions and millions of dollars a year
to sponsor.
to sponsor.
Okay.
Yeah, or NASCAR.
So, like, from, like, a
NASCAR's
company
like
perspective,
30
right?
million. F1's like 400 million.
To sponsor an IndyCar
IndyCar's yeah,
Is
like,
millions?
Millions. Yeah.
for the year because you can't sign on for just a race.
You can sign on for a race, but you know.
Like, what if she had a sponsor that's like let's say Barbie. Barbie's like, we'll sponsor you for one race. We'll see how you do.
She likes pink, right?
But like, would that happen, or can you do
Well,
that,
yeah,
or
and
no?
well, it depends on what the series is. For like example, for an IndyCar race, for certain teams, that race might be $300,000-$400,000 for one race. Whereas in
So all you have to do is
stadium-
either have that money yourself, $3,000 or $4,000,
No.
or a sponsor has to contribute that to you?
No, IndyCar's not going to let you just jump in a car.
She can't pay for herself if she wanted to?
Yeah, well, they're going to
Or anybody?
Well, she would have to get an IndyCar license with that sanctioning body. They're not just going to let you in a car that can do 250 miles an hour and be like, I hope it works.
Well, you said
So
that
you have
they're
to-
11. The people are 11 years
Not
old.
at that level.
Okay.
Like they start so example. So say how you went from karting to F4 and then like work your way up, and then what would be after F4, like, go through the Pro Mazda and all that stuff.
Yeah, so when you start in karting, you do have a karting license. You get approved to run in higher races, like higher levels. And then from there, I did a school, which is like Skip Barber, Lucas Oil. I actually got a scholarship to run the Lucas Oil series to get my license in order to run open wheel.
Wait, stop. So you went to like a program, like a schooling,
There is schooling that you can go to get your license.
but you don't have to do that.
It depends, because if you're like high up in karting, they could just approve you. Like I just got approved from karting because I had a background of racing. But say you didn't do karting at all and you just wanted to go into open wheel, you would have to do a schooling in order to get a license in order to run the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so then I got approved to run Formula 4. And then from Formula 4, you can either there's routes. So basically each IndyCar and NASCAR or any type of racing, there's usually like a ladder. So you would start in like USF 2000, I think they call it Indy Pro 2000 now, and then Indy Lights, IndyCar. So it's like a ladder, 4-step ladder that if you win the championship, they give you money to go to the next step, if that makes sense.
Correct. Yeah.
But could you just use the money for whatever you want? Like, could you go to college with that money? Or
No,
do you have
no.
to put that in racing?
No.
Yeah, you have to put it in racing.
It goes to pay for the team, for the mechanics, the setup, the engineers.
Oh, yeah. Do you have like a pit crew team, or does that not happen in Monster
Yeah.
Truck?
It
Okay,
does.
you do?
It depends on like what racing you're in. Obviously, a stadium super truck pit crew is not going to know how to work on a Formula 4, or they might. I don't
Some
know.
Do
might,
you
yeah.
hire them? Do you pick your guys, like your mom and,
The
people
team
to
does.
travel with you, your pit crew?
It usually does. It all depends on who you're racing for. So stadium super trucks, they have a full pit crew. So
But for each person?
Yep.
for each person, yeah.
Each truck has their own crew
they
assigned.
put it on
Yeah.
their own dime. Or
Well,
you
yeah.
have to.
So what we have, for the last race that we were at, Road America, Zoey had sponsors that went on her truck that pays Robbie Gordon. I had my sponsors that paid for the truck. And again, it's not expensive.
That pay for your like racing fees.
Pay for a racing, and sometimes
But they don't pay you. The only way you get money is if you win the race. Is that
no,
right?
that's not true. So sponsors, depending on how much sponsorship you bring in, it takes care for the whole truck.
Mm-hmm.
But it also can, like anything over, Robbie Gordon is good. He lets you keep the excess, and that could be used for just your pay. You can use it for your airfare, hotel accommodation. So like when we go to Australia, we do very well because the promoters pay money. You have sponsors. So, a lot of times you're making money.
So you make money through the
yeah.
overage of your sponsorship.
Yeah, well, that's part of it. So, like even
That's the
IndyCar,
salary of a race driver.
in IndyCar, say example, like you take Scott Dixon, who's the champion driver, and he has PNC Bank sponsoring him. Well, his team will say, all right, it's $5 million a year to sponsor, and then because it only costs $4 million for the car or whatever it is, we're going to pay Scott $1 million a year. The numbers are more than that. I'm just using general
but on
terms.
your guys' level, like if it costs
Same thing.
$5,000 to like, okay,
Yeah, same thing. So if it's like example, so say they run a stadium super truck, if it's, I don't know, for the crew of the car and everything, say it's like $20,000
per race.
or $15,000, $20,000 per race, and you raise 50. Well,
What
then
if you
could
only
use-
raised 11?
Well, then
Then it
you're
comes
not
out. Then
racing.
you just put the rest of your money down, right?
Well, you could, yeah, or you're not racing.
And then ideally you would win the race, and then there would be a award money.
yeah,
right?
and then there's prize money if you win
Prize
the
money.
race. Yeah, and we all like prize money, don't we, Zoe?
Dang.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
It seems like impossible to get paid then if you're not super good.
But like example, so X
Just
Games.
accrue like a ton of sponsors. Who are some sponsors you have now?
Right now, this year, well, I'll start with last year. Last year, I had Gas Monkey Energy
Yep.
Cool.
sponsoring me. They helped me out a lot last year. And then Bill's helped me out with Sparko. Sparko's been helping me.
What's that?
And then this year I have my mom and my dad helping me out. It's all been a little bit of a mess due to COVID, but we're working.
Auto company, right? The one auto.
Auto. I have Auto, which
Yeah.
is a car club. And yeah, they're based out of Scottsdale, so it helps out a lot.
Cool. Who are your sponsors?
So Sparko's one of them, and so Sparko, I introduced her to Sparko so that Sparko can sponsor
You said it so
her.
many times it's scaring me. What is it?
Sparko is an Italian company that manufactures race gear. So they make your fire suits, custom made fire suits, your
Cool.
shoes,
That's a great
all
sponsor.
your Nomex, so your fireproof underwear.
Get
So-
like girl sponsors, like specifically. Like get like Tampax.
well, her
let's get
mom's
some
company
feminine
does
stuff on
that. So
there.
her mom has a
Freaking-
spa
What
out in
else?
Arizona, right? So you can go to JJ Spa and get pampered. So
Yeah, Lavender's Day Spa, AZ Body Lab. That's where I get pampered before a race.
yes.
What about like Pantene Pro V or like herbal essences or like what else is something that'll give some money?
Yeah. Look at see, Meg's
And then
trying
what do
to
you do?
Meg's
Can you
trying
just
to make
call
money
them
for
and
you.
ask? Like, do you
get
want to
marketing
sponsor me?
people.
Can I get 10,000 for this race?
So lately I've been creating a marketing deck where
Can you help us? We need that for our podcast.
No, we're good. We're fine.
so I looked at just a few like examples and then I tried to put together like just everything about me and like what I would want to run. And then I just sent it off to like random sponsors. Like I would send it off to like the water I drink, like Essentia, or like anything I drink or anything that could like be promoted at a track and like help them out, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like if I was drinking like this certain water and I just kept it on my truck or something and it was in the photos and everything, like that would help the company out. So you want to like figure out how you can help out a company.
Yeah, at the end of the day, a sponsor. So, example like AT&T, Verizon, they're really
yeah,
big in
get
IndyCar.
those guys.
Yeah, so like companies like Verizon and AT&T, you know, they what they do that they sponsor in F1. AT&T's huge in F1. Verizon's huge in IndyCar and also NASCAR. And what they do is they look for the business to business play so they can get a return on their investment. So they're saying, hey, let's sponsor here, but while they're in the paddock, they're in the garage area, they're doing business deals. It's all about that behind the scenes. Now to the drivers, like to Zoey and to me, we're trying to win races. But obviously, me as a businessman, I'm also trying to do and work deals and make connections because it's those connections, like we've said on even other podcasts, where we're trying to make those connections to make the business work because it has to be a win-win for everybody. But but obviously Zoe's young, she's up and coming, and I believe that she has everything and all the tools to become an amazing brand ambassador to these companies, and also she can get her butt into victory circle and compete with the boys because it is a male-dominated sport. And that's also I wanted to ask you is because I have 3 daughters, and I know me and your dad have talked about it. Me and your mom have talked about it at racetracks, and it's been tough for women to be in that sport. And I know we're gonna have other guests, so we have female. I will have a female, an accomplished race car driver, and female and businesswoman on later. And you recently met with her, Lisa Clark, and amazing individual. So, we're going to get her perspective on how she dealt with it. And, she's obviously, older and been through everything and had to deal with that. But you coming up, like, what do you do to get through that where somebody's like, oh, that's just a girl. She's only got that ride because she's pretty, or blah blah blah, or but then when they get you on the track and you kick their ass, it's actually I've seen it happen and it's comical, and they always make excuses like, oh, my tire pressure was this, or I lost this, or or she chopped me and she cut me off. It's like, no, she beat you because she's faster.
Yeah. So when I had to learn that at a very young age, being in karting. So I think that helped me out a lot, being young and like being like, hey, like, you have to get respect on the track. So you have to earn respect from your competitors, or it's just being a female in the motorsport. That's what you just have to do. So I remember when I was younger, I was like, okay, they're going to treat me this way. I'll just treat them this way back. If you want to like push me off the track, I'll just push you off the track back. So I earned that when I was super young. And then I've always just remembered, like, I'm just another driver, whether I'm a girl or not, or everybody else. Like, I'm just another driver and I just want it as bad as they do. So I just kind of just have learned that it's okay. Like, it doesn't matter what they say. I'm just going to drive and do the best I can. And if I'm a girl doing it, then that's even better. So
Good for you.
Yep.
Who's the cutest driver right now? And the cutest driver in
Uh-oh,
IndyCar.
we're going to know this one.
if you look at my TikTok, you would know. But Claire is my favorite driver.
Who is it?
Charles Leclerc. He's an.
Let me look him up. Is he cute?
He is.
He's a good-looking dude.
Does he know who you are?
F1 driver.
Charles Lafleur?
Leclerc. Like
Does he know you?
Lecler.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, he
Do
might.
you know him?
Yeah, she knows of him.
You know what he looks like?
Yeah.
Let's see. He's got glasses on. Oh, he's very cute.
Let me see.
Oh
Did
my
you get
God,
the right
he's
guy?
cute. How old is he?
I think he's like 22.
He races for
20.
Ferrari?
Yeah, he's
Great
Yeah, he's
sponsor.
a really good
Okay.
F1 driver.
Yes.
Yeah, so what he does.
Yes.
So listen, Meg, his form of racing, their budget for Ferrari is $400
He's a
million.
Formula One racer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love, and Ferrari always has the best racers. Schumacher was great before too, Michael.
Mercedes will.
Mercedes is doing pretty well.
Mercedes
Oh
will.
my gosh.
Lewis
amazing.
Hamilton and Mercedes will beg to differ with your statement.
What about, do you know who James Hinchcliffe is in Indy?
Of course.
So
I shadowed him when I was.
She knows him very well.
What's that?
I shadowed him when I was 15, so I followed him around the racetrack and like learned how like an IndyCar weekend goes.
Isn't he lovely?
Yeah, he's great.
He has a huge fan base in Canada too.
He does.
He has his own town.
What about
He's the mayor of
Mario,
Hinchtown.
What's his grandson's name? Marco Andretti.
Yeah.
You know him?
I don't know him very well, but I know of him.
Yeah. He seems like he would be pretty cool to mentor. Who else? What about chicks in IndyCar?
There's not anymore.
There's that one girl who's married to the other guy. What's her name? She's got blonde hair.
I think there's only an IndyCar driver. Pippa Mann used to race.
No, it's like a younger girl, closer to your age. She's married to another guy.
IndyCar? No, there's no female IndyCar drivers.
It's not?
No.
Indy Lights, could it be?
No.
What about Maddie Brabham? Do you know him?
Yeah.
Yep.
She raced against Maddie Brabham.
His girlfriend is like a great friend.
Her, yeah,
Kim,
her.
do you know Kim?
She knows Kim.
She's
met Kim.
lovely.
Her and Kim are really good friends too.
You're friends with Kim?
No,
I met her at Road America.
okay. Yeah.
I'm talking about you and Kim. Yeah.
Who
our
is the
friend.
guy that was freaking has a girlfriend who's a racer? All right, forget it. What about Danica Patrick? Is she a hero of yours?
I look up to her like the way she like took from her racing to like what she is now.
I heard she's a
Business.
bitch.
That she might be.
It might have been from you.
No. I know some stories from the teams.
So have you ever dated a driver?
No, not really.
Huh.
I haven't dated any, like, I just, like, don't want to be, like, known as, like, anything else until I have my brand, like, established.
So
Yeah.
you're only going to date civilians. Okay. Cool.
I think she's even saying like, hey, she's not even dealing with relationships or men until she figure out her career. Like she's focused on her racing and she's not going to let a boy distract her. Like, but she has a lot of good friends in racing. So again, she's friends with the sons of PJ Jones, who is the son of
name?
Parnelli Jones. So Parnelli Jones, Indy 500 winner. PJ Jones, accomplished IndyCar driver and NASCAR driver, like a really good racing family. And Jagger and his sons they were in karting and they're race car drivers. So like she's surrounding herself with all the people that she needs to surround herself with to be a excellent professional race car
Isn't
driver.
there a girl driver named Courtney something?
She's a
Was it?
You're talking. She's talking about
What's her
Graham
name?
Rahal.
Yes!
And her. Yeah, but
Yes!
she's like a top fuel funny car driver.
It's a funny car driver.
That they just go straight in line for a quarter of a mile.
Do you know her?
I don't know who that is.
I think she's I
Courtney
heard that
Force.
She was good. Yeah, Courtney. Yeah, there we go.
Courtney
Oh, I think
Force.
I've heard of her name.
You know, John Force's
Yeah.
daughter. Yeah.
So there's like a lot of nepotism in racing. Like basically you can't break into it unless you have like a dad that was in it or grandpa or something, right?
I
It
wouldn't
just
say
like doesn't
that.
happen. But it's unlikely.
Yeah, it's like a lot harder without the connection.
Right.
So like a lot of girls in karting, there was a lot more girls when I was younger. And then as you move up, it starts to like not be as many. Yeah.
Well, because it gets expensive, and that's also in anything. So if you played baseball or football or soccer, hockey, volleyball, as you start getting to that next level, the better numbers start becoming less and less because, you know, the cream rises to the top. And the pretenders or the people that lack the talent, they may not lack effort, but they lack the talent to take it to that next level. So that's why, like, at this point, when Zoey made the transition from karting to F4 to even stadium super trucks, there's so many people that go and test at Robbie Gordon in North Carolina and Charlotte, and they get to test and they never hit. They have all the money that they can. They come backing with sponsors, like huge sponsors. They could pay for a season 20 times over, but they don't want to get in that truck again because it's very dangerous. You know, think about it. You're taking a truck that could go top speed 165 miles an hour, and you're purposely launching it into the air, 20, 30 feet in the air for 300 feet in distance. And when you're in that, like the first time you hit a jump, Zoey, you hit that jump and you're a passenger.
Yeah.
You're like, I hope I land.
Yeah. Usually in like a race car, you have to be in control like the whole time. You want to be like overly in control. And then in the stadium super trucks, when you're through the air, you're not really in control in a sense anymore because you're flying through the air. You're throwing a truck that's supposed to be 4 wheels on the ground through the air. So it's definitely a different aspect of racing, but if you can get over the fear, then it's so much fun.
Cool. Are you in school, Zoey?
I'm not in school. I graduated high school last year.
Oh, mazel tov. How did you like high school?
I loved high school. It was fun. It was also, taught me a lot how to manage doing racing and doing school. So I learned how to manage my time a lot just because I would be gone for 5 days of the weekend. You leave on Tuesday, you get there on Wednesday, and then you're there for the whole weekend. You maybe fly back on Monday and you're missing a whole week of school. So it was a lot for me to manage.
Sounds like it went well.
Yeah.
Her whole school year, her whole life in school, she was on vacation the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. I had to get a waiver by my school or whatever to they're as long as you get good grades, we don't care how many days of school you miss. And so you have 180 days, and I think I missed 60 days of school.
Good Lord.
You're gonna get a letter after they listen to the podcast and say, we're rescinding your high school diploma. They're gonna take it back.
Actually, never mind. You didn't graduate.
Yeah, give it back.
Yeah.
Anyway. So what do you think has been the biggest challenge to you as a person, as a female, as a driver? Or maybe not in the past. What do you think is the biggest challenge now? It could be COVID, it could whatever. As far as getting to that next level.
I think COVID definitely did put a little dent on where I was going because being in the middle of the start. Well, I guess not the start, but being in the middle of your career and get ready to keep going, and then you have that kind of set you back. And now being with companies are kind of iffy now just because of the whole COVID, nobody knows what's going to happen. And I've never really had that. So I was that's been a struggle for me to understand and try and get through. But I think that has been the most difficult. Also learning how to get sponsors. I've been not struggling, but it's definitely a different thing you have to learn.
Especially in today's climate, because like you said, companies right now, they're kind of keeping everything close to the vest. And they're like, hey, listen, our budgets for anything, we don't know because we don't know what's happening tomorrow.
But now there's not really that many great avenues to advertise on anymore.
Exactly.
So this is you're a great opportunity for a business too to advertise.
Absolutely, because think about all these people.
Dude, you can get sponsors that these old men can't get. You should really try to
That's what
cultivate that.
It helps out too, is because thinking about being a female, I can only use that to my advantage. A lot of people
exactly 100%.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's a disadvantage, but it gives me another reason to stand out.
Yeah.
So I just been learning that I can use this to my advantage no matter what. So
the one thing I've also noticed too, so what you were saying to Meg, which you made a great point, was that it's people are trying, or companies are trying alternative ways to advertise to get their message out. So you see TikTok and you see Instagram, and hey, nothing wrong with it. They're doing their thing. I commend them for it. But so you see Instagram models and TikTok models, and they're making millions and millions of dollars. But at the end of the day, all they're doing, this is going to come out as an unpopular opinion, but hey, dancing for 30 seconds is really not a talent. But hey, that's how people want to, advertise. No, but with Zoey, here's the thing though. What I'm saying is like a brand or a company should want to support someone like Zoey because she's not what I call the one-trick pony. Like, when TikTok is done and Facebook is done and Instagram is done, there's going to be something else. But like, somebody that's a professional athlete in a sport that, has Fortune 100 and 500 companies backing, to support someone like Zoey, then you get that access and that proximity of being around other companies that you can do business with. And there's that B2B. So like she can do that for someone and people, obviously everyone, you're going to see this podcast and hear the podcast and listen to it. And you can tell that like a very professional spokesmodel. But here's the thing, her results, she'll get the results on the track. So she'll be at the pointy end to where the cameras are seeing her car with the logos on it. And then she could show up to your events and be like, hey, do personal appearances. So, and that's who you want. I mean, do you want that or do you want someone doing a WAP dance on a TikTok? I wouldn't want someone doing a WAP dance promoting.
Isn't that a derogatory word for Italian?
No. Cardi B, I don't know.
It is.
Well, Cardi B changed it. So Cardi B has, like right now, people are like, I don't know why they're doing it, but people are paying TikTokers to do this dance and to promote their product doing this dance. That's a song from Cardi B.
And Cardi B dance?
Yeah.
You'll see it all over TikTok if you look on.
Can you show us the dance, Zoey?
No, she's not going to do that.
I'm not. That's one thing I don't do is I don't.
Yeah.
Thank God you're normal, dude. Good.
Yeah. No, actually, so
Stay close with your mother, okay?
social media.
There's a lot of predators in this ugly world.
Zoey's social media.
Hey, what about
awesome.
that? Do you ever feel like there's any like predatory figures in racing? Like, do you ever feel like people rub you the wrong way? Like,
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Kind of creepy.
Sometimes.
Especially because there's a lot of older men in this. Like, you're so young.
Yeah. I just read people well. So I know when someone's like not good or like good, or just be like friendly, but like not talk to them again.
But she also has people that are
It's
like,
good that your parents are with you. That's definitely
not always.
protects
Sometimes
them.
they let her go off by herself. But her parents know that she has like, she travels all alone by herself all the time. So, and then her mom will drive like the RV so that she has a place to stay and stuff like that. Her mom's her best pit crew, by the way. And then, but here's the thing. She has, anywhere she goes, like say when we're at Mid-Ohio that time, I mean, she has Casey Mears there, or she has, now Robbie Gordon or myself. So we're like either, I won't say other like stepfathers. I'm going to say like uncle.
Yeah.
Or, we're like uncles,
They take care of me if I need it.
or stepbrothers. So yeah, we're always looking out. And but same thing we would do for like a Max Gordon. So Max is Robbie's 12-year-old son, and I consider him, I'm Uncle Bill. So if somebody, the funny thing was for that race, I'm like, Max, don't worry. If anyone messes with you, anyone touches you, I'm going to take him out for you. So let's go. And I'm the one that took him out. It's like, oh my God, I felt so bad. I felt horrible.
Max is like that Uncle Bill, man.
Yeah, well, no, I went to get him in the truck when he crashed and he rolled. I get out. I go to get him. I'm like, are you okay? He's like, who wrecked me? I'm like, well, it was kind of me. And he punches me in the balls. Right there. It was funny as hell.
Oh my God.
I'm like to the medical guy, he's okay. Don't worry. He's okay.
It's all good.
He's fine. But then he's hugging me like hours later. He's hugging me. He's like, that's okay, Bill. You owe me one. So you have to, block everyone for me next race. I'm like, all right, I'll do that, Max.
Yeah, it's so fun. The SST trucks was a blast. I had so much fun. And everyone's super nice there. And we're all like, it's a kind of a different aspect because we're all under like the same team. Like we all have the same people working on us and we're all just like all together under a tent. We're usually like in Formula 4, you're on a different team racing against different people. So it was a cool, different experience for me to have at.
See, the thing with SST, and you'll probably agree with me, is that we're trying to first and foremost to put on a show. Yeah, we're putting on a race. It's a real race. It's
like
not
WWF wrestling,
yeah,
right?
but see, some people think it's scripted. Like,
But, like,
today's
theatrical.
Robbie's turn to win.
Yeah.
But we're not. We don't script anything. It's like, let's have at it. But we all know as a driver that if we do our job, we're going to put on a very entertaining show. So we're going to race hard.
But she's right, though. There is like a less of a competitive nature to it because you guys have the same people working in your cars. There's like
behind the scenes. But once the green flag goes, oh my goodness, like we're banging. We're just trying to win. So, I always say, like, during the race, you feel like killing anyone around you and just beating them. And even like 10, 15 minutes after the race while your adrenaline's coming down. But we know that we want to put on a show first and foremost for the fans. And then at the end of the day, when we're out and so many fans come up to us after the race. And that's when we're like, hey, Zoey, come here, sign this autograph for someone. In other sports, you wouldn't see, Charles from F1 going to Lewis Hamilton. Hey, Lewis, can you sign this for my fan? Because Zoey as a female, man, she has a bright pink truck. So many. As a father of 3 girls, it was so refreshing to see like young girls were coming up to Zoey saying, Mom, Dad, do you mean I can do that? And like, yeah, you can do anything you want. So like she's becoming a role model to young children to say like, I can do anything I want. Like that girl is in that truck flying in the air like Superwoman. That's what they're saying. It was amazing. I loved it.
I loved it too. It was great seeing like younger kids. They're like, wait, like I can do that? Like, you mean I can drive that too? And I'm like, yeah, like you can do anything you put your mind to. I have been dreaming of driving an SST truck I first saw them at Long Beach in 2015 when I was shadowing Hinchcliffe. And I was like, wait, I want to drive one of those. And so then finally I just made it happen and got the opportunity. And it's so cool to see like younger females, even like people my age, like that's so cool. Like you're just doing this like the best you can and putting on a show for us. And I just some people thought that the pink truck was like not even a girl inside of it. They were like, you're just flying like everybody else, like flying through the air. Like I would have never thought that it was a girl. And it's like, yeah, like whatever car you get into, like when you have your helmet on, nobody can tell, right? Like, so you never know who's in that car doing whatever they can.
Yep. And that's the key. So other drivers too, in other sports, you may like the first time going in, basically in other sports, like if she went to another open wheel series, some guys would be like, oh, okay, she got to prove herself and make her earn it. And they might even do her dirty. But see, in SST, before you're allowed to even race in a professional race with SST, you have to go through the gauntlet of a training with Robbie Gordon at his shop and at his track. And if you pass that, then all the other drivers, like when she came in, we respected her as one of us immediately because like, okay, if Robbie, he will not do anything to harm other drivers or to harm his equipment because that's his brand. So for him to allow someone into the series, basically that's his stamp of approval. And to have Robbie's highest stamp of approval, that's like, okay, she's one of us now. A driver, not a female driver, just a driver. And she competed and she was really good. And she kept getting better and better and better and better. Like,
did you have to do a qualify thing to get an SST? How did that happen?
Robbie wouldn't let me do it for a long time.
You just wanted to be a driver?
No, I was driving amateur stuff and I was doing really good in cars. Like
I remember you used
stuff,
to do like
sports cars,
yeah,
all
like
that
for
stuff.
fun.
Yeah, amateur stuff, just fun. But I would beat everyone. And so EJ Vizo, so Ernesto, the IndyCar driver.
Was he young?
Yeah, he's younger than me. He's like,
I think I remember hanging out with him.
Yeah, you hung out with him. Yeah. Anyway, he was like, I think you should do SST. You would love it. You're crazy. So he got me into SST.
But how did you actually get into it? Like, did you have to qualify, show up with your sponsors?
Robbie, because again, like she started in karting. I kind of started later.
But you were doing amateur like elective things. So like if I was racing sports cars for fun, now I want to do.
I also went to
trucks.
Skip Barber to for that you have to go.
Oh, you did the school too?
Yeah, before you do that, you have to go to a racing school.
How much does one of those schools cost?
$2,500, $3,000.
And it's like a month long or something.
3-4 days.
3-4 days.
But then you go to a basic training.
That is like
advanced
I
training.
told Michael to do this years ago to do his own little racing school because people will pay for it and like it's so true.
Yeah.
Y'all will pay for it.
People pay for it, yeah, tons. But see, so to even race amateur, they want you to see like, hey, you graduated and learned racecraft, like how to pass, how to, move over, the safety, what the flags are. It's very technical. How you're calculating your fuel, all those different things for racecraft. So in that situation, she had to go through a school, and get a competition license and then do some amateur races and karting and then moved up through the thing. So, she had, going into it, a lot more experience. So her transition into SST, I would say, was easier than, say, mine, where I was just coming straight from amateur. And like Robbie, I mean, I probably went through 8 different training courses with Robbie directly before I hit the time limit or level or safety levels that he said, okay, you're approved to race an SST.
Now, is this how you met him, or were you guys friends
No,
before?
I've known Robbie for years.
Okay, so he was helping you as a friend.
Robbie's the brother-in-law of Ryan Hunter Ray.
Ryan Hunter Ray is married to that blonde lady, so that blonde lady's brother is Robbie Gordon.
Yeah, Becky Gordon, who is also a race car driver.
Oh yeah, Ryan Hunter Ray. He won the Indy 500 when we.
Yes. So that was that. So basically, yeah. So she only took 2 days to do it. So
2 days, $3,000. That's money.
No.
Guys.
She took 2 days at Robbie Gordon's track to basically be accepted into USAC. USAC is the sanctioning body. So before USAC would sanction you, you have to go through a training with Stadium Super Trucks, jump them, show that you have the truck control, because they're totally different than any. Tell us about the difference between a Stadium Super Truck and the handling and everything the characteristic does, as far as like, instead of downforce, it has upforce, than your, say, open wheel cars, which has a massive downforce.
Yeah, so open wheel has so much downforce, and the main thing with the SST trucks, I would say, is like the body roll. Like half of the time when you're turning and you're three-wheeling, you can't see over. So you have to know where you're going or how it's going to react or how it's going to handle. Versus like an open wheel, you can always see where you're going and it's completely flat because you only have downforce and from there. And then in the SST trucks, it's body roll, 3-wheel, you can 2-wheel, like there's so much, and the tires have so much more grip to where it just holds, and you just have to like trust the car to hold you through a turn when you're up on 3 wheels, or when you go up off of a jump and you know that you're going to have to be full throttle off the jump and it's going to nosedive, or the way you fly. And there's so much more to learn in an SST truck than I would say an open wheel is. More of like when you're in karting, it's kind of the same basics, just on a higher level.
And faster. Yeah. So it's higher, faster level. Yeah. People don't realize that the truck, as simple as it looks, there's so much like throttle manipulation to learn how to fly. Whether like a Matt Brabham or like he loves to nosedive, whereas someone equally as good, like a Sheldon Creed, likes to fly nose high. Like I personally like nose high.
Me too.
I don't like, as Matt Nolte, the Australian announcer, calls it, the tooth chipper. You come down like on an angle and it's like, oh my goodness, you like,
when you're staring at the ground, you're like, oh, I'm coming for the ground on a nosedive. I'm like,
At over 100 miles an hour, you're just coming, like hurtling toward the ground. You're like, yeah, I'd rather see the heavens than the hell.
Yeah.
So
right, exactly.
Yeah. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So what do you think 2021 is going to hold for Zoey in racing and your career?
I would love to do some SST races in Australia, for one, if on the SST topic. And then I would love to get in more sports cars. I loved racing the Saleen S1. So I would like the opportunity to like do more of that, maybe GT4 or anything in IMSA or something like that. So that's what I'm hoping for next year.
Yeah, you guys maiden debut. You kicked ass in that Saleen race. You finished P2. What an excellent weekend you did. And I'm sure, I know Robbie, everyone came away so impressed with you with Stadium Super Trucks that there's no doubt that you'll do more races, maybe even this year. I think we're going to have 1 or 2 more races this year with Stadium Super Trucks. I'm sure you've earned your right to be in that truck and tangle it up with us. And also for next year, yeah, I know Alex Prema from Prema Racing has been interested in putting Zoey in a GT4 car, an LMP3 car. So she's getting a lot of interest.
Can you be her agent?
I'm trying to. I'm just kidding. No, I don't do that. But my point is, like, anyone, like, you know, as highly as I talk of her, because she's doing it and she's competing and she's actually making a difference in the sport to even young girls and to young boys. They're looking up. They see this young person who's, you know, just graduated high school, but she's out there doing it and living her dream. But I also speak highly of someone like Matt Brabham, who's older and more accomplished, and, you know, there's people out there in racing that absolutely deserve a shot to take
Maddie's
it to the next level.
incredible.
Maddie's amazing, and his girlfriend's amazing.
But he also comes from a racing family, because I asked him the same thing. I was like, how do you get it? It seems like, again, nepotism is very big in the race world. Like, people don't just fall into racing.
Yeah, for sure. I would say in the lower levels, like karting, it's like more of like a hobby. And then to go to the next step, most people do have a racing background from
Right.
But yeah, it's crazy. So, Dan, you got anything?
Not really. Loving what you guys are doing.
Yeah. To Dan, our producer's behind the camera. Sometimes he likes to chime in and ask questions and stuff like that.
I mean, this is not my field of expertise.
Not your forte.
So.
Zoey, what do you like as a civilian driver? Do you have a bunch of speeding tickets?
This is actually a funny story.
She's like, I don't have my license.
You don't have a license?
No, I was guessing she was going to say that.
Oh, I thought you said.
No, I actually got a speeding ticket in a Prius. So I do have.
If anyone would, that would be you.
That would be me to get a speeding ticket in a Prius. Yeah, it was a motorcycle cop though, so I saw it coming. But other than that, I try to keep it clean.
I could see you saying, getting in the Prius and going, let's see what this baby can do. I could just see you doing that.
So my mom made me drive a Prius when I was in high school, just because she was like, you're going to drive this Prius and you're going to like it. The fuel's mileage is great.
Oh, yeah. 51 miles to the gallon, guys. It's pretty good. Wow. Look it up. Don't scrunch your eyebrows at me.
That's funny. You're like, Mom, you just put me in hell for years. Like,
yeah.
That's your little timeout. So you have to drive the Prius today. Damn it.
Yeah, she's like, you have to drive the Prius today. I'm like, okay. And then I get a speeding ticket. Look what you did.
See, Mom, if I was in a Ferrari, I wouldn't have got a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
I don't need to go fast.
Can your civilian driving record affect your racing at all?
Ooh,
no,
what if you get a DUI though? Does it matter?
Things, just curious.
If you get a DUI, you can still race cars?
Depending on the series. But
Zoey?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
It's like two separate things.
Yeah.
Like
I don't think it can. Well, maybe.
Actually, you know what? No, Al Unser Jr.
It absolutely should, though.
Al Unser, but this was back in the 80s and 90s. Al Unser Jr. had a DUI, and they let him race. But,
I mean, I guess you run the risk of like sponsors dropping you just for PR or something like that.
Yeah, that for sure.
But this Stadium Super Trucks as an organization does not.
A judge says your license is suspended. It's like you can't drive anything.
No, because your personal license does not. It's not like the track is like a private facility.
I don't know, dude. I would love to ask the judge that.
I mean, like,
does anybody know a judge?
This is like a way smaller scale, but like, you know, if you had a go-kart like track in your backyard, if you lose your license, you can still go do that. I don't know. Obviously, that's
private property you can drive on. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think you're supposed to operate a vehicle.
No, you can. Because it's not registered. It's not on the public. Like Zoe's not taking her F4 on like the Arizona highways.
No.
I dare you to do that.
I don't know. I think if I took the gas monkey car out on the highway, it would be definitely people would look at me a little funny.
See, I would take the Stadium Super Truck on it just to see what was going on. But Robbie did that in Australia.
Is that street legal? Like, are you allowed to just do that?
No. Well, he they gave him they gave him a ticket, and they threatened to seize the truck and destroy it.
Take his children away.
Yeah, well, they almost took Max away.
So it was fine.
Yeah, if Max was in Australia, they would have taken him. You've met Paul Morris before, have you, or no?
I have not yet.
Yeah.
I want to go to his track, though, that you were talking about.
Yeah, honestly, I suggest that for any young up-and-coming driver because, yeah, you can find people that can teach you here, but the style and the way they can translate it to the young up and coming driver. And like, you could just look at all the people and drivers that he's like his Norwell Motorplex on the Gold Coast in Australia are doing. Like, he's getting results. So obviously they're onto something and they have the special sauce, and he owns his own track. So like all day you can be getting that track time. That is what is most important as an up and coming driver. And he has like a skid pad, so your car control. So actually, what advice would you give, speaking of that, to a person that wanted to get into racing, and whether they're young, whether they're later in life, like what would be your advice, like saying, hey, I'm starting out, I want to get into racing, I think it's fun?
I would say learn the basics first. So in karting, that's a great way to learn basics, whether you're younger or older. That was like the best part of me really getting like my racecraft down. And now there's other opportunities that you can do to learn racecraft, like the schooling and stuff. But I would say learn your basics, and then you can go from there. And lots of seat time. I would say seat time. I know it's sometimes harder to get in like cars and stuff, but as much seat time as that you can get would be the best way to improve.
Awesome. So with that, I think, unless Meg has any more questions, I'm going to encourage everyone to follow Zoey on Instagram. And honestly, her TikTok channel's hilarious. I think every day there's something with, like, she is so ready to get back to racing. I mean, you probably have worn your racing suit more in the last like 3-4 months under quarantine than you actually do when you're actually racing in your season. Like, she's always wearing her helmet. She's always got her gloves on. And just, you're probably annoying your mom walking around the house with it all on. Like, I can't wait to race.
She's like, what are you doing? What are you filming? I was like, I'm filming a TikTok just again in my race gear. Or I'll leave my helmet around the house. And she's like, why is this out? And I'm like, well, I was filming a TikTok like an hour ago.
Polishing my helmet. Getting my gear ready just in case I get the call.
Just in case they call me up right now, I'm ready. So yeah, the TikTok's been a great platform now. Now there's a creator fund. So now that I post, I get paid to post, like per 1,000 views. I think it's a cent or something. But with like the whole TikTok algorithm, like you can make money.
Wait, how much is it per 1,000 views? What is it?
It's like 1 cent per.
Stop it! 1 cent?
Yeah.
For 1,000 views? Stop it! This is like prison. How you can't ever accrue any money?
Yeah, but say Addison Rae did one video and she had 100. It's this TikTok creator. She'd had one post.
You know who that is?
Yeah, everyone knows who that is.
She's like, there's the top tiers on TikTok who are like the most famous and followed. So everybody knows. There's a For You page on TikTok. So they create like, it's like whatever you're talking about. But like they create a page of like your interests. So
yeah, someone told me this, that like TikTok learned their like algorithm so quickly, faster than any software they've ever used before.
Yeah.
Like they can
TikTok got it down.
Imitate you so quickly.
So this girl had 100 million views on a 30-second WAP dance, and she got for that.
Stop saying that.
That's the dance. So I'll tell you offline what it actually means. It's not an Italian derogatory.
It
plus
is.
I'm Italian. No. Anyway, here's the thing.
Was she dancing in a bathing suit? Zoe,
no,
you can tell me.
No, she wasn't. And for this one, and anyway,
not this one.
No, but here's the thing. For that 30 seconds, she was paid like $5,000 from TikTok. I mean, I would take that for every 30 seconds. Dan, would you want that?
30 seconds of work, $5,000. Yeah, I'll take it.
Dan's like, my rate just went up, Bill. Steve's like, pay me. But yeah, so it's like that. So the power of exponential growth and people on the platform.
Zoe, don't sell your soul for 1 cent. I don't care.
Well, Zoe doesn't dance.
Good.
But that's the thing, though.
Stay close with your mother and father, okay?
Oh, they're amazing.
Read a lot.
They got a good team over there.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's got good people behind her, like Casey Mears and Robbie Gordon, and Max Gordon. I know Max Gordon looked up to you.
Yeah, he did. He has now working on TikTok because I told him, I was like, make content on TikTok. And so now he's all excited. And
you're like
Can
the
you take
big
him to prom?
sister. Yeah, you're like the big sister he never had.
Does she know your girls?
What?
Does she know your daughters? Do you know Bill's daughters?
No,
I'm sure you met them at the races. No?
They'll meet him. Yeah, she's never
Those
been
are
out
great
of a race.
gal pals.
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah.
You guys, great little gal pals.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, I want her to talk.
Do your daughters want to race at all? Do they have any interest?
No, not at all.
Well, maybe one day.
Maybe
when
one
they see
day.
you.
Maybe if they see me race, you never know.
Yeah.
Yep. Maybe. We'll bring him to a race, and
Beautiful.
you could teach my oldest what not to do on TikTok. So, she posted one. I was like, no.
You're like, no, don't do that.
Zoey, I'm so impressed by you. I want an autograph or something cool.
Thank you.
I'm going to try and see if I can get Tampax to sponsor you.
No, that's whatever. But anyway, I'm very impressed with Zoey. I think any brand that's looking for, a professional race car driver that can offer, something that, others don't have, that Zoey's the person. And, she's very serious about her brand and how she represents herself. And she's authentic to herself and authentic to her family, and she's an honest person, and there's nothing else to say. So, but everyone, we're out. Be good.
Real cat.